Alrighty then. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome, one and all. My name's Michael. I'm the Aussie Gamer, and welcome to Pathfinder, Second Edition. Pray for Death. Now I know what you're thinking to yourself, Michael. Did you kill all the other players? The answer is yes. Yes, I did. They're gone. They've been murdered, mordored, as we say from down under. We have mordored them. They're taking a ring to a dying mountain. They're going to throw it in it. You know, all the mordoring. Anyway, yes, we have two people joining us today. We have, of course, the wonderful and amazing Cookiemon Steve and Matt from All Things Fantasy. G'day, guys!
Hello!
Guys, so good to see you guys. I am excited for today. Even if we have only two players today, I have a great game in store just for the two of you. So I hope you guys feel privileged. I hope you guys will enjoy the fun things that I have planned today, because we're going to be doing a pirate game. And I love pirate games. Why do I love pirate games? Because I'm from Australia. Literally, we're built off convicts and pirates. So, I mean, you know, just different types than the Caribbean ones. So, you know. There you go. Now, before we kick off today, we have some people to thank, and that is, of course, our lovely and amazing sponsors who help us keep the lights on and do all this cool, crazy, and amazing stuff. Starting, of course, with none other than our friends over at Hero Forge for the wonderful art you see on stream here. Both of the characters you see and the tokens that we will be using are done using the amazing Hero Forge character building app. They just released flowers. Just in time for Mother's Day. So if you actually want to see some very, very cool new, very I think I've got a couple of little examples that we might be seeing today in today's stream. But hey, if you definitely want to try out something for Valentine's and stuff like that, now you can make a Hero Forge mini version of your characters for like a Valentine's Day gift. That'd be kind of cute, little guy, little dude. Yeah, I think that'd be a fun thing to do. Anyway, then of course we have Sirenscape for the wonderful sound effects you will not be hearing today because I have put in my sponsorship thing. I did not forget. They just haven't gotten back to me, which is fine. It is per normal. Let me just actually see. Do I have any sound? Do I? Let's see if it's gonna play anything. No. 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 Alas, that's okay. It'll be fine. But yes, go check out Sirenscape anyway. Sirenscape is amazing. Great sound sets and helps immerse you and your players into a world of fun and mystery. So yeah, go check that out. Then of course we have our last sponsor, Fantasy Grounds, for our VTT of choice for all the heavy lifting in my game and all the maps and all the tokens and all the things that allow my players to connect despite the long distance between them when we play this cool fun thing that we do. So yeah. Thank you to these sponsors. But of course, the game would not be complete without the contributions of my wonderful players. So to let you know about the characters that they're going to be playing, let's turn it over to them, starting with Steve, who plays the role of Kailu.
That I do. I'm Steve. You find me as Cookiemon Steve when you look around. Kailu is, your basic elf ranger red mantis assassin type. He likes to do his job of ranged attacks, ideally. Prefers not to get his hands quite so dirty. And he's the quiet guy in the party.
True. And of course, the other person in our group today is none other than Balsam, played by Matt from All Things Fantasy.
Good morning. How you going today?
Doing great. Super excited for today's game.
So am I. It's great to have like these smaller sessions to really mesh out some character stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So I play Balsam, the Blood Sorcerer, a member of the Red Mantis Assassin. He loves traveling to new places, meeting new people, and killing them in rather creative, bloody ways. He specializes in blood magic, so he likes manipulating the blood around him to basically to harm, heal, or to escape situations.
All right, I love it. And hopefully we will learn more about these two characters as today's game proceeds. Now, Before we continue, we have one last person to thank, and that is, of course, you, our audience member. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the show, having fun with us, and enjoying all these cool, crazy adventures that we're on. As thanks for showing up live, we have a number of different rewards for you guys to just enjoy as we are playing the game, so that you can be a part of the session as well. So come behind the GM screen and have a bit of fun with us. First of all, just by watching the show, you earn channel points that can be used at any point in time in order to influence the game. They can be inspiration, insight bonuses, wandering monsters, wandering bosses, tons of cool stuff there, and you earn channel points just by watching the show. Subscribers, you earn channel points a little bit quicker, so hey, if you are subscribed, then all the better, that's how it goes. If you, of course, however, have some disposable income that you want to use to help Dag with his monthly survival check so that he can pay his mortgage and eat food and shower in hot water, all this other stuff, then, of course, we have some monetary donations that have a far more tangible result on the games as we play. First of all, for $5, you can donate to give a red mark to one of my players called a hero point that can be used to stave off death, petition the DM for nonsense that isn't in the rules, or roll with advantage. Or you can give me a purple mark, which I don't have, but, they're jinx points. They can be used to counteract hero points, make bad guys roll with advantage, or complicate matters ever so slightly. Just minor inconveniences. For $10, I will draw from one of two decks of cards I have in front of me. The first deck is a deck of Heroic Actions, which is a free action for a player of your choosing that comes from this random, very, very cool deck of Heroic Actions, but also serves as a makeshift hero point as well if my player needs it. Good for emergencies. Then, of course, we have our deck of narrative plot twists and story elements. This is just to keep me on my toes. Normally, when I'm running games, I'm running modules and the like. Today, we're actually doing a lot of improv today, so, not so much the case this session. But these plot twists are things that I will be adding to the session as best I can. I can't guarantee it all the time, but, sometimes we carry them forward to the next game. But it allows me to pivot and consider different angles, different avenues, sometimes even change the entire scope of an adventure. So these plot twists are amazing and a lot of fun. We have two plot twists, actually, which have just come from Schoolyeye, so I'm just going to quickly rip them out of the deck. So first of all, we have, after the good old shuffle, all right, we have A Witness to History. A Witness to History. Okay, I think I've got a good one for that one. Okay, and our second plot twist is The Tipping Point. Interesting, The Tipping Point. That one's a little bit trickier, but... Oh, no, I've got a good one. I've got a good one for that one, actually. Yeah, okay, cool. I think I've got some good story beats here to go with. All right. And then we have our $20 donation, which is a coveted golden natural 20 because sometimes shit just needs to work, and a nat 20 is a critical success, so you will end up helping my player just outrightly succeed at something that they're doing. This could be a check or an attack roll. This could be a cool acrobatic thing that they decided they want to do. But yeah, it's a nat 20, and that's kind of cool. So yay, nat 20. We love them. And then we have our $50 donation. There are three versions of the $50 donation. There is the boss buff, where the encounter becomes more deadly and more difficult, whether that's increasing the creature, making the terrain more challenging, or changing the parameters of victory. The boss buff is a the boss buff is a huge boost to the bad guys, so that's a tough one. Then we have a magic item, which either is a magic item you design. Maybe you'd like me to design a set item for my player, or maybe something from their wish list. Either way, all of the magic items do not count towards our hero's wealth gain, so it's a big boost to the player that you give it to. So yeah, magic items. And then lastly, we have our very cool Harrow buff, where I will draw a card for a Harrow reading. Their fortune shall be read, and based on the card that they draw, the group will gain bonuses on all ability scores and checks with that particular stat that is associated with the card. In addition, if my players manage to fulfill their prophecy, they can perform any checks associated with the prophecy as if they had critically succeeded. So yeah, that's a cool one too. And lastly, we have our $100 secret menu item. Now, I have been in talks with one of our players who is currently going through a crisis of faith, and we'll be exploring a little bit of that today. Now, we have discussed where that direction is going and what's going to happen with it, but there is an individual in our midst that will be very appropriate for our group to have, not only as a spiritual guide, but also as potentially an ally that'll allow our players access to a lot of things that they may not necessarily have access to during the course of the game. This individual I am talking about is a very, very well-known NPC that has made his way into a multitude of different sessions, but has yet to have made it into Pray for Death. The $100 secret menu item unlock ability shall be to unlock the assistance and presence of none other than the infamous Bad Ham. For those of you who have met Bad Ham before, he is a Calistrian curse item merchant. He has a wide variety of gear and things for sale, many of which come with a bit of a catch. So yes, with our heroes now on the run from the Red Mantis assassins, their old avenues have closed up, but that does not mean some new ones cannot appear in the course of the adventure. So that is our message. That is our secret menu item for the session. So yeah, there you go. Dun dun dun. Cool. Without any further ado, what say we get started?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. Yeah. Or we can just
Heck.
talk for like 2 hours.
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah.
Easy. So easy. All right. So, without that, we now return to our world as our heroes find themselves in the tropical climates of the southern reaches of Garund. The sound of the ocean nearby, the cawing of the gulls, the salt in the sea breeze, something they haven't enjoyed in some time. It's been a few months since, in fact, you've been in this region. Constantly working for the Red Mantis has taken you far and wide, but it's been a while since you've been this close to home. Thanks to the efforts of you and your allies, you have managed to sequester the use of a portal to take you from the wintry, icy northern lands of Avestan back to the shackles and Port Peril, where you find yourself currently. Kara, Nesmit, Kalo, Balsam, and Rondak. Red Mantis assassin group who has been betrayed by the order they have served so loyally for so long. After being told to slay Aldorf Bladecaller, our heroes learned that the order to assassinate the Ulfin general was a fabricated one, and now the order sees our heroes as rebels and renegades. Having sent assassins to try and kill them, thanks to the aid of Talvaro, a friend of the group, who was actually sent to kill them, our heroes have managed to fake their death, at least for the time being, each sacrificing a finger, but allowing Talvaro some time to convince the Council of Elders that you were indeed dead. But this will not last for long. And you need to come up with a game plan. And at present, the game plan is to return to the Medigoti Isles, home of the Red Mantis, confront the Order, and try to not only convince them that you were framed, but also find the culprit and throw them out there with on a silver platter. You have some aid from not only Talvaro, but another individual, and that is your handler, Mr. Was it Vatum?
Sounds about right. I can let you know in a minute.
Yep. Here you go. It was. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, it was Vatum.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. And he was the one who, like yourselves, has also been framed by someone in the Vernai. Though you don't know exactly who, you have your suspicions. So yes, you are heading there to try and find proof and put the word out there that you are not treacherous scum. So there you go. So as our heroes have now made it to Port Peril, a short boat ride away from your destination, Kara says that she is going to go work with Nesmith to try and secure passage. Meanwhile, Rondak and I don't want to say Pablo. That's not the right word.
Pietro.
Rondak and Pietro are going to go and gather supplies. Pietro is curious about the transformation into the bat-like creature that they had transformed into, and Rondak is also interested in such things to see if there's a way to weaponize it. So the two of them are going to be heading off in order to do some research in and around the port, see if anyone knows anything that they can use to their advantage, leaving Kailu and Balsam with another task, procuring funds. Obviously, nothing is going to be for free, and there is some measure of responsibility still needed in order to secure passage. Now, what you guys know is traditionally the Red Mantis are bankrolled by a large collective fund, which various agents have access to. You can access this at the banks of Abdar, of which there is a very prominent Bank of Abdar here on Port Peril. No one actually dares rob it because it's where the Hurricane King, leader of the Free Pirates, keeps his stuff, and anyone who messes with the bank effectively makes an enemy of every pirate that is part of the Free Captains Guild, from here all the way through to frickin' the land of the Lindholm Kings. So, yeah, not a wise thing to attack the bank here. But that is your task. That is your quest that has been given to you. How you embrace Port Peril and your task will be entirely up to you. So with that, the scene is yours.
Wow. I can't. When was the last time you earned money? I'm not sure if I remember how.
Um, I've never really acquired money, my friend. I've always just kind of been given it. Uh, Even before I started working for this place. Um, well, how about we go back to the basics, right? We can't necessarily take out a loan because, well, our faces are plastered everywhere. Well, well, we can't really take out a loan because we don't really have any paperwork to take out loans unless you're carrying around some form of documentation and identification, Kyler.
No, and
Clever.
now and now I'm regretting that point that when they suggested that perhaps some of the funds that we were given should disappear into a numbered account, and I thought that was inappropriate and reported the person. Um, now I'm now I'm understanding why it might have been a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I
Really need to
mean,
talk
I
to our tax consultant about that.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that means if we can't take out a loan with the bank, we will have to perhaps find a way to get maybe a wealthy, what's the word?
Patron?
Patron, thank you. Maybe a patron is who we need to find.
That sounds like an idea.
All right, everyone, you heard him. Sign up for Patreon is the
We're gonna put up like a GoFundMe. Please donate here so we can get to our home island.
Yeah, and then there's the Australian version. It's called Go Fun Yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like what we're trying to do. Um,
Or we could just go into a wealthy person's house and just steal everything they got. That's also another option.
that is an option.
Granted, everyone around here is perhaps a pirate, so there might be some wealth hanging around.
Yeah. And I've got very little practice in stealing stuff.
Kailu, make me a society check.
A society check. Oh boy.
Yes, please.
A 31.
A 31. Okay. What, and if you don't mind me asking, what sexual orientation is Kailu?
Kalu is your basic hermaphroditic straight elf male. Semi-androgynous as most elves are. But he is male.
Okay, very well. Thank you, and that is for no reason. Blame OG.
Of course not. What did OG do this time?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
Alright, so let's get the lay of the land first, Kyler. How about we start gathering some information, see if we can find out if there are any wealthy targets around.
That sounds like a darn fine idea.
You do know of one wealthy target. So right now you find yourself on a small island off the main city called Crescent Island. There is a number of beach homes that actually belong to very rich and wealthy people who often travel through this trade town when they don't want to deal with the riffraff of people. Many of these beach homes are actually abandoned. They spend 90% of the year completely unused, save for maybe an old half-blind caretaker who spends a great deal of time like just chilling around and, you know, doing nothing. These houses are ripe for the picking, and if and you know of one where this time of year probably won't have anyone, you know, there besides you know, the guard.
So that sounds like something we should scout around for.
But you don't need to scout, you know where it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Do we know who this
Well,
person
you know, well, instead of let's go, you know this, you can now choose to share it with Balsam.
Oh,
I don't exist in this. I'm not here. I'm
Okay.
just giving you the information.
there's
Oh no, I'm hearing words from the
There's-
sky! Ah!
Yeah, no, just Kylo looks over at Balsam and
Perfect.
says, "All right, let's go. What do you? All right, well,
Yep.
let's go. What do we do? Where are we going?"
Kylu passes on what he just learned. There's, you know, there's some lightly populated beach homes here for the wealthy that we should be able to find at least one of them.
Well, that does sound like a great idea. So I guess we're going to try to find a patron, because I would assume they don't leave valuable items in that house if they're not there for a period of time.
I'm betting that they do. But you could be right.
If they do, they're extremely dumb. They better
They are
pay their
pirates.
cards very well.
It's only there can't be that many guards. Anything under 10, we should be fine.
Between you and me, yeah, probably right. I'll take your lead in this, Kyler. Show me
Well.
this free house.
So which way are we going, Dag?
You're the one that's You're the one that's leading.
Okay,
I know.
Let's
I'm asking my God which way to go.
So let's dial back a little bit, a teeny little bit. So I'm not telling you guys where to go and what to do. What I am giving you guys is options. So while sharing the information is great, I do not hear any formation of any kind of plan. Just a lot of maybe ifs and ums and stuff like that. So let's look at what the plan is, discuss it, outline it, then execute it. So Kailu has made mention and passed on the information that there are some holiday homes here in which there is probably some treasure and the like. Balsam has disputed this, despite knowing absolutely nothing about the locations and what is going on, but has decided to take Kailu's lead on things. What is Kailu's plan, as dictated to Balsam, other than to simply walk up and try to get in?
Kailu's plan is to take a look for a place that looks not particularly used.
You know of one that is guaranteed to not be used. Like you know
That's the
exactly
one.
where you know exactly where it is.
And that's where I would like to go. Let's go take a look
Fantastic.
at this one that I know will be empty.
Excellent. And then what is your plan?
And then we are going to, then I want to scout it, find out how
Th-
many people are actually there, like
Ex-
any caretakers, and then
Excellent.
go for and break in.
Brilliant. Now communicate this to Balsam.
Okay. So I know a place. It should be empty. I think we should be going there, and we can scope it out to see if there's any watch people or whatnot. And then I suggest we go in and take a look and see what we can find that's maybe not attached down. What do you think?
Who is this person that you're talking about? Are they a member of the Are they a member of the organization? Are they a contact to the organization, or are they like some old childhood friend?
They're someone that I'm aware of. I don't believe they have any affiliation with the Red Mantis. Do I know if they have any affiliation with the Red Mantis?
They do not.
Okay.
So, are we going to going to this place and then asking for patronage, or are we going into this place and robbing the joint?
Robbing the joint.
Ah, all right.
That's my thought.
Well, that sounds relatively easy. I'm still concerned about just. I mean, what are the chances, right? What are the chances of us showing up on this island and you having a friend here? Spend some
Well, it's
time
not a
with
friend.
Tyler.
It's not a friend. But yes, I have passed through here before.
All right. If you think it's going to be that easy, it's probably not.
Oh, it never is that easy, but it should, you know.
I'm excited seeing you take charge for once, Kyler.
Well, okay. Let's go take a look.
Our heroes begin to make their way towards the northernmost point. No, not the northernmost point. The westernmost point of the Crescent Isle. There we go. All right. The town is as you'd expect it, covered head to toe with pirates all pulled up to the docks. Crescent Isle is usually where visitors first arrive when they come to Port Peril. This is the easiest place to offload your docks, and there are plenty of ferries that run to the main city. There's also a lot of inns and taverns and establishments that people can use to keep themselves safe for a period of time. The Mermaid's Bucket is the local watering hole where people, drown their sorrows and the like. And along the western front, as you can see kind of over here on the map, there are a couple of these little beachside houses. This large white house that you can see here is your target. A large gated-off home that is built from what looks to be this very, very pale white oak. It definitely has an elvish kind of vibe to it. The gardens are grown lush and cared for quite adamantly. And it kind of has that, like, governor townhouse kind of vibe with 2 stories to this building. As predicted, when you arrive, you don't actually see any guards per se from the outside. There's a gardener or 2 on the inside that seem to just be kind of doing their work. They don't seem to be like armed guards or anything like that. They're just kind of wearing sun hats and working on some of the flower beds and trimming some of the hedges and stuff like that. But aside from the gate, there is nothing really barring your entrance into the estate.
All right. Before we enter, Kyler, tell me everything you know about this person. What's their position here? What do they do? How likely is it someone's going to barge into us whilst we're taking a look around? All that sort of stuff.
Kailu, what you can tell about
Yes.
this particular situation. The person in question is not important. What's important to know is that they are not going to be here. Neither is their family. They are basically they do have some guards like caretakers and stuff, but like they're not so like they tend to travel with their entourage of people, and if they're not here, the guards aren't here either, generally speaking. This person who you have in question is a capable swords master. So, obviously they know how to defend themselves as well, but again, not important. They're not here. Over time, they traveled and existed as an adventurer as part of a small group of pirates who won the Free Captain's Regatta a few years ago. Da 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 da! Ding 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 ding! Witness to history. Who won the Free Captain's Regatta a few years ago, and she was on the crew of who is now one of the free captains. Well, specifically, she is a member of the crew for Tessa Fairwind, who is currently acting as the Hurricane Queen.
Ah,
Nice. I like what you did there.
Thank you.
okay. So I relay that. Since Balsam doesn't seem to hear what I think.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And that's who it is. So, if she was home,
She.
she, yeah, if she was home, I might be a little bit more concerned because she is a rather accomplished swordswoman. But it's still us.
All right. Now that we're here, Kyler, I'm actually interested to seeing what you have because I haven't actually seen you work and plan out a lot. Tell me, what is your plan for getting inside the house?
I've never been inside the house, so I wanted to take a look at it first and see what was there. I was not expecting quite so many gardeners, to be honest.
There's like 3.
That's 3. See, I was expecting 1. So is it a walled estate, did you say?
It is a gated estate.
A gated estate. Can we get around and see the back of it at all, or the sides?
Yeah.
Looking for a path in.
All right. As you explore and begin to look around, both of you may make me a perception check to try and find an avenue in.
A perception check.
Yes.
A 27. Balsam?
Jeez, trying to find it. There it is. Also a 27.
All right. The two of you do manage to find a way in. Around the back, there appears to be a what looks to be a like kind of where you would stable horses and the like. It kind of like you see that like out to the north. There's that passage that like road that leads between this brown building and the main estate house. So on that side, you would see that they would normally guide like horses and the like through that area.
Damn stables again. Don't care for the last one, but let's go.
Are there any horses in the stable?
Yes, there are 2 horses currently in the stable.
Hey, Kyler.
Are they fine horses or are they not fine horses? Are they work horses?
They are indeed fine horses. Well, one of them is definitely a fine horse. The other is just a horse. I mean, how do you define a fine
Yeah.
horse? Are you looking at it going like, "Hey, sup horse, you look pretty fine." I mean,
I'm thinking about the horse of a gentry or a wealthier person as compared to a working horse. You can usually tell the difference.
um, presumably, if you can tell the difference, it is a combat trained horse, and then a non-combat trained horse.
Okay. Do you know horses?
No, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. If we
No, but
spook,
that horse over there, that's a war horse. Just so you're aware.
okay. And what about the other one?
The other one looks like a normal,
Oh, okay.
so we may have a
Nelson
war
has a
horse.
smile on his face, though you probably can't tell because he is still wearing his mask.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
might.
by the way, just description wise, Kailu changed his armor appearance to you know, looking like local attire, so I don't stand
I
out
thought that's
because
usually the first thing
we
we
are
do.
described.
Yes,
I know.
yes, yeah. You guys did make an effort to disguise
Yeah. Okay.
your red
Fair enough.
mantisiness already. Yep.
Failed to say that at the beginning and didn't know whether that could come back to bite him.
No. You guys are good.
Okay.
What if we,
Good.
what if we spook this horse, send it into the thing, and let the gardeners chase after it?
I
Makes a good
think that
distraction.
sounds. Why not?
All right.
Okay.
Distraction sounds good.
I would like to go to the non-combat trained horse, and I'd like to elect to critically fail my animal handling.
Well,
to
actually,
automatically spook it.
ironically, you will still need to succeed your animal handling.
Ah.
I know, because like generally speaking, if you are trying to do something, one does not fail to do the thing that they're trying, which in this case is you are trying to spook the animal, not you are trying to befriend the animal and then critically failing so that you can succeed in the thing. But I
That's
will give you some points for twisting the logic though, for sure.
All right, that's fine. All right, nature check, I assume.
Survival.
Survival. Ah, okay, wonderful. A 17.
A 17. All right, a 17 I don't think is going to be enough, I'm afraid, for your level. No, it is not. Okay. You go in as you've snuck in pretty well. Again, there's no one here at present. And as you've gone to try and sort of coax this poor horse out, it just kind of like looks at you and then sort of ignores you.
Kyler, I think you're better off in this sort of thing. You're.
Let me see if I can encourage him to leave the stall and run through the grounds. By the way, is there a door into the grounds from this stable?
Yeah. Literally just across from the stable itself.
Perfect. Okay. That's what we're going to try and get him through. So, what do I need?
A survival check. Por favor.
23. That's still. So far, I keep rolling twos.
Mm-hmm. All right. As you come in order, okay, I got this. We got this, guys. Okay. As you come in, unfortunately, yet again, you do not manage to convince this horse to do anything really. Yep. It just kind of like looks at you, like kind of like it. You know what? In fact, Kailu, it moves over to you and sort of licks you on the hand.
Damn friendly horses.
All
Could
right.
poke it with a
Plan
knife.
two. Plan two. Uh, Kylo, since you're making friends with the horse, can you just kind of, um,
Try and lead it out.
no, just cover yourself in hay or something, and then just kind of walk out as if you're like a stable hand. That way you can scout out, see if the door of the house is unlocked, all that sort of thing. Maybe.
Sure.
Kylo, you're not entirely sure of this idea. Mostly because I'm gonna send you a message. Bu- 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 bu-
And if the door is open,
Ah.
maybe you can open it up, and I can just teleport us into the house. Oh. What we could do is that you can actually go into the house, open up a window,
Okay.
and I can jump in through the window, and then we'd be inside the house without anybody noticing.
Okay.
Or
Before
even
before
better,
be- just before we do that, there might be a teeny tiny detail that I left out earlier.
You can
This is my
choose.
ex's house.
I was gonna
I'm
say.
gonna tell him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell him. This is my ex's house. Yeah, you know, we didn't part on the best of terms, but the staff normally liked me, and her father, I think, seemed to like me. So I was hoping to sneak in and not be seen, because the problem is they're going to know who I am. But if the intention here is that if we do it that way, I don't think we can take anything with us at this point, unless it's very small and unobvious. Because anything goes missing, they will likely expect it is me. On the other hand,
then what was
do
the
I
point of
remember-
us even being here, Kyler?
because I know there's
What was the
there's
original
things
plan?
I
Why
know
are we
there are
here?
things I know there are things that are valuable here. The point is that if they recognize me, then it's now here's another option. If you're willing to split up, I could go back to the front and walk in the front door. I believe that I will be, well, I don't know if welcomed is the right term, but I won't be turned away. And I can probably distract the people. So at that point, if you want to go in and get what you can, it would be suspicious, but not a shock, especially if you were subtle about it. Your thoughts?
Balsam turns away and begins pacing up and down this stable area. Wait, I do that could work. Could you kind of gather all the servants into one place?
I believe I can probably do that, because I think that they will probably, assuming that they haven't changed the staff too much, probably all want to say hi.
Wonderful. Then we just kill the lot of them, right? And then no one will know that you are here.
I kind of like them too.
Ah. How much do you like them?
Not enough that if they were, not enough to not kill them if they were turning me in, but get a little bit, might feel bad. I don't know. I've never actually. I'm confused. I've never actually felt this way before. Normally, I'm quite happy about just killing people, but these feel like innocents, and I don't really want to be killing innocents.
Belsum
Unless we're
goes,
on a job, of course. If this is not a job though.
Belsum goes back to pacing. Do the servants stay in the house at nighttime, at nightfall?
Most of them do, I believe. Do they stay in the cottage?
They have accommodation elsewhere.
Yeah. So they do leave at night.
If you can infiltrate your way into the house, as in if you can manage to stay the night, you can unlock the door and let me in. I can go in and ransack the place, rough you up a little bit, take what I can, leave, and in the morning you'll be like, oh no, I was robbed.
Well,
How's that sound for a plan?
Sounds cockamamie.
It does sound
Sounds-
cockamamie.
it does, and I saw what you did to poor Rondak. I'm not sure that I want to get slapped quite that hard.
That's fair.
I don't have a good idea. Does anyone have a good idea? God, do you have a good idea?
God says that because you guys are assassins, generally speaking, you guys are
Killing is
level.
the right thing.
No, here's the skinny of it. You guys are level what, 14, 15? Fucking suck it up, okay? This is not the kind of thing you guys need to be talking about when infiltrating a house protected by gardeners, okay? You guys are some of the best assassins in the fucking world, and we are talking about trying to convince a horse to like let us in by subtly trying to sneak past these three guys who collectively have less hit points than your toenail clippings, okay? I'm entertaining this because this conversation, in my mind, perspective-wise of how strong you both are, is absolutely ridiculous. But, nonetheless, it is freaking funny.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this is just again, you guys are level 15. You are 5 levels off being the strongest individuals in mortal recorded history.
That's 5 levels.
On a side note,
here's another
levels don't really exist.
That's true. all you have is your perception of your strength, which by this stage,
Health is not one of them.
What is your health? Is a curious question.
Health?
Yeah.
About 158, roughly.
158. You got 158%. Okay.
It's only 216.
Only 216. Okay. Let me just.
Oh right. You're a ranger.
Okay. Let me give you a let me give you an example of the people you're facing down here real quick, because thankfully, by the way, Paizo has released the NPC Codex, which is an amazing, honestly, like probably the single best PDF you can purchase from Pathfinder at present is this freaking book. Is it this one? Maybe.
Sorry, which book did you say?
The NPC Core is what it's called.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have that one.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Actually, I have another.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
I have another thought.
We gather them in the one place.
No.
Okay.
Rondak gave me. Didn't he give? He gave me a couple of arrows that I believe. I don't know whether it's got an arrow. No. Unfortunately, it's not a. It's not a area effect. I was thinking that I might have been able to use the freight arrow.
Yeah.
To actually make them terrified and run away, but I don't believe it's. I don't believe it's an area of effect.
Yeah. So this is the NPC core book, and it is literally filled with just random NPCs
Okay.
for you to check out. So in this particular case, what I can look at the category called Laborer, which is here. We've got messengers, vermin catchers, grave diggers, fisher, innkeeper, miner, drover, farmer. Here we go. These will do. So a farmer is a creature level 0. They have 18 hit points. They have a +6 to hit and do 1d6 plus 3 points of damage with a pitchfork if they choose to rise up against you.
Okay.
Meaning every hit they will attempt will be a critical fumble. Every hit you attempt will be a critical hit. And your minimum damage on a critical hit will eviscerate them immediately.
That's why I said just get them in the one place. And we'll
Yeah,
just...
here's my other thought. We could the staff did like me.
They do like you.
If you are comfortable with it, I could probably convince some of them that perhaps they would let me take some money or belongings from the safe. I mean, we could kill them after if we have to.
So you want to walk up to a bunch of random farmers and go, hey, I want to borrow some money. And your idea is that they'll go, yeah, sure, not a problem. They'll take us straight to the safe, open the safe, take out money, then we kill them, and then take the rest of it. That's your plan.
No. My plan is only if they try turning us in that we kill them. I don't really care once we're gone if they really know who we are, but I don't know. Your thought. Just walk in.
At this point in time, I'm just going to walk in. I feel like we should just walk in.
Yeah. That's what the plan is. Walk in. May we just walk in,
All right.
Mr. DM?
You may. Heading over to the gates, you begin to walk in. As you approach the gates, they do seem closed, but opening them, you draw the attention of a couple of the gardeners. One of them, they all seem to sort of smile as they see you in that very polite kind of way. One of them heads into the house and knocks on the door. As they do so, the major domo of the house, a man by the name of Isaacs, walks out to greet you. This individual is a rather old, well put together and long-serving human. He has served this family since he was a boy, but it's an elven family, so obviously, a blink of an eye for them. But he has done his best to keep the estate together. As he approaches, he sees you and says, Master Kailu, I must say it is a pleasant surprise to see you here of all places. Word had reached us that you were on your... what's the word? That you were performing your duties elsewhere in Avestan. Otherwise, I would have prepared a proper greeting.
Isaacs, nice to see you. There's been some complications in our lives. As I point to my friend, this is my friend Balsam. And
Balsam gives
we
a
find
very
our,
deep bow.
yes. We find ourselves
by.
slightly discommoded. Discommoded? What's the right word? We're out of sorts.
Ah, I see. Well, the master of the house is not here at present, but I am certain that he would want me to extend you the hospitalities as befitting. As he nods and he sort of gestures, please come in and tell me all about it. I'll prepare some tea.
Excellent. You do make the best tea.
You are led inside to a rather opulent house. Again, it's opulent, but it's still very simple. You know, a lot of the furnishings and stuff like that isn't luxurious in any way. Just well maintained and well kept. As you sit at this very modest dining table, you are brought some small biscuits and the like, as well as tea. Invited to sit down. Isaacs joins you as well. So, what has you out of sorts?
What have you heard about me and my associates lately? Have you heard anything?
As of late, no. I'm afraid that once you and the young mistress were, well, once you had concluded your relationship, there was no further need to keep tabs after your separation. It seems that her feelings are very much affixed to the preference of your presence being somewhat scarce.
So that hasn't changed. Of course, she was never around anyways, off on that boat of her ship crew thing, but it suited us for quite a while.
Balsam nearly chokes.
The yeah, we've there has been some unpleasantness within my organization that requires some quiet research. And so we are currently unable to draw upon the resources and are ultimately working to to find some capital and a method to quietly get back home.
I see. A troubling situation indeed. If I might be so forward as to present an offer, this city is never scarce for work from the unsavory sort, but the wealthy too also have needs and requirements that I think perhaps suit your, I guess, particular skills.
Are you aware of any of those?
It would be far too unbecoming of a simple major domo to discuss the affairs of those within the circle of his master's social circle. But if I were to gather that information from places, he writes down an address. There is a smoking lodge where one will often pick up and hear what they need to at the right time, of course. And he slides an address across the way. It is a gentleman's club, smokehouse kind of thing.
Do I know of this? Have I been to this clubhouse or this place before?
You have not.
Okay. Thank you. Takes the address. Are there any entrance requirements?
Entrance requires quite a healthy stipend, but I'm sure someone as resourceful as yourselves will find a way.
Balsam, any thoughts?
I have one thought. Starts. You can see underneath it. Are we seeing like a table or something, or is it more like a lounge sort of area?
It's a table. It's like think of it like a kitchen bench adjoining to the kitchen. You're not you're not where they entertain guests. You're where the servants would eat and socialize and stuff like that.
Balsam very slowly starts drawing out a small dagger from his from a thing on his thigh.
Mm-hmm.
Looks over at Kyler.
Make a stealth check.
Stealth. Exactly what my characters are great at.
And let's see how this guy does. He is
31 on stealth check, please.
31. I severely doubt it, but let's have a look. So he is a
rolling that
official.
20.
You rolled a natural 20.
He could. No, he could. He could
Oh, he
roll in that
could?
20.
Okay. So he is a Grand Inquisitor. No, he's not.
Oh dear.
Let's see. He is. Oh, yeah, this will work. Effectively a harbor master, but a master of a house instead of a harbor.
Yeah.
So let's see. His perception is a 6. So if you rolled a natural 20 and you got a 31, he would succeed. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh.
So he gets a 25, which is not enough to notice you pulling out your dagger.
Yeah.
So, question above the table.
Mm-hmm.
Am I aware of whether or not they store any, say, pirate
They
cash
they do.
at this
They
estate?
so you know that that your ex used to. Well, first of all, there was a tithe that had to be paid to the free captains, which was done through the Bank of Abdar. Then there was the amount that she had to pay to the crew and to the like as like a kind of like a kind of an upkeep tax kind of thing from everything earned. Everything else she basically put into the vault. The vault is on the second story behind the portrait of her father, that she keeps kind of in the main like sort of lounging area kind of thing. You know what the combination was. You don't know if it's still the same combination, but yeah, that's where it all is. And pending the fact that she doesn't like put that all of it in the bank, there should be a good few 100,000 gold worth of stuff here.
Do it.
So I see that very subtle nod.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Balsam quickly rushes over and grabs
Isaac?
Isaac around the throat and puts the dagger. He then will turn to Kyler.
Make your athletics check to grapple him.
Yep.
Again, not going to be much of an issue. Yep, that's critical
Nice.
success. You reach over and you grab hold of him.
Enough waiting, Kyler. You had one job, and that was to get me into that vault, and you're not even doing that, so I'm going to take a hostage.
He can't speak as his throat is being crushed, but he looks with pleading eyes over at Kailu, confused and old and unsure of what is happening.
I'm sorry, Isaacs. I have no choice.
That's
The look
right.
of the look of betrayal runs across his face.
That's right, you have no choice. And you're taking too long to forget what I want. Now, you're going to take me to this vault, to this place, or I'm going to kill your beloved butler here.
Are you threatening Kailu?
Paula?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I get it. Carry on.
So Kylu will get up and head upstairs to where the vault was.
Okay.
I'm also going to drag the butler as well as, like, the insurance.
Sure. Okay. Now, above the table, is this a performance or are you actually threatening Kylo?
It's a
Oh no, this is
it's a
absolutely
performance.
Okay, then you guys need to be making
Like-
some deception checks here.
Can I?
well,
Because yeah,
Fine.
because yeah, you guys haven't discussed this like
No,
you know
you're
during
right.
the thing.
You're
So
right.
yeah. Let's make a
I'm
let's
going
make
to
a
roll-
let's make a deception check.
Can I argue performance?
No, because you are intentionally misleading with this. I would say performance would be like convincing, like how convincing it is, but I guess that's kind of
Yep.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, either way, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Kailu, you lead Balsam to the vault, presumably.
Yep.
Belson,
Okay.
we drag
And
the Isaac with him as well.
Yep.
and
You
I'm
do so.
and ease off on him, will you? He
As
doesn't
soon as I
need.
get my gold, I will.
He's an old man. Isaac's, is it the same combination?
Do you loosen your grip on his throat?
Me? Slightly.
All right.
Just so he can breathe.
Yeah, he begins to cough and splutter. As you remove the portrait and see the vault, Isaacs says, "No, the vaults were changed. They changed quite regularly."
Do you
And,
know the
he-
current combination?
He looks up at Balsam. Let's see how he does. Balsam, make an intimidation check.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
35?
So as he looks up in fear because all he sees is the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's this look, a look of an old man who's seen some shit. And he says, "But I would give a single copper piece to the likes of you, even if it cost me my life."
Fine. What about his? Points over at Kyler's. With the dagger, of course. Points over at Kyler with the dagger.
He, what's Kyle's reaction?
Kyla's reaction is going to look meek somehow.
Now you can make a performance check. Oh, he might actually pick up on that. Hold on. So he gets a +6. He does not. Okay. He says, "You wouldn't dare."
Wouldn't I?
He says,
heard
"Wait."
that.
Would.
He
Isaac's, he would.
says, "Wait." He says, "You cur. I hope that whichever god you worship, you fall out of favor of. And I hope that you are left alone and abandoned with nothing but your decisions, slowly freezing whatever semblance of a soul you may have tucked away beneath those shrouded robes."
Enough words, old man. Open that door!
He goes to the door and begins to open it. As he does, the doors swing open to the main house. You watch as entering in is what looks to be a woman dressed in beach attire with a towel kind of brushing over her hair and the like. As she enters, she looks up the flight of stairs that Balsam and Kylo, you were both on. And what you see is this individual. As she sees what seems to be happening, her look of for one moment of serenity is faded and is replaced with a look of disgust, anger, confusion, more anger, and she starts by going, Isaacs, fresh clothes, please. Isaac's partway through putting in the combination, and he goes, yes, Mum. Right away, Mum. And he stops and attempts to head up the stairs.
Nah. You're gonna finish that combination.
He looks at you. He looks at her. He goes up the stairs.
That's not what I was expecting, though, to be honest.
She finishes drying off, and as she's doing so, she basically turns and she says, I thought I told you to never show your face in front of me ever again.
In fairness, you're not supposed to be here.
In fairness, this is my house, and despite your bizarre relationship with my father, this is not your home. You made that very clear last we spoke. She, once she finishes drying her hair, she kind of puts it to one side. At this point, Isaac comes past, and as he does so, he slows down where the two of you are, and he kind of like is looking at you out of, again, fear, but he's got like a bundle of clothes, and he kind of like squeezes past you, like, you know, just, excuse me, just, and then down the stairs.
This is not going the way I hoped. My hostage is gone.
Well, technically, no. I mean, technically, you've got Kylo as a hostage.
Yeah, I got Kylo as a hostage, so I'm going to quickly switch around and put the switch around so I'm behind Kylo and put the blade to his neck. I don't care what's going on here. I don't care about your pseudo whatever this is. But I have one thing.
As you're talking, she is, by the way, stripping completely naked and putting on the new clothes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got this elf's. I got a blade to this elf's throat. You're going to open that vault so I can get money.
I sometimes forget that there are land pirates from time to time. It's very cute how, rather than using sword and steel, you prefer words. It's quaint, actually. When you're out at sea, words won't save you from sharks and the drink. As she finishes robing herself up, she says, you would like in the vault, would you? Sure. Let's get you in that vault. The combination is 15, 72, 41, and 3.
I think my little hostage would put those numbers in. You better be the right combination. I would shudder to imagine what would happen to Kyler.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you walk me to the door, and I'm
Yes.
going to put in the combination.
All right. The vault door opens, and inside you see exactly what you had expected. Treasure as far as the eye could see. Well, not as far as the eye could see, but, you know, like treasure just piled and piled up. All like portraits and gems and crystals. Chests just bursting at the seams with swag, even like jars of spices and oils and the like. Just tons of things that have been taken over a lifetime of plunder. You also notice that there is something on the behind. It looks like a curtain. You take a few minutes and you examine this curtain. Can I get you to make a society check for me?
Sure, society. Wow,
Both
that
of
did
us,
not
or
roll.
Both
There
of
we
them
go.
may. I'm going to say that
That's
this is
not
one of the things that Kailu didn't really know about her or has forgotten about her since.
okay, a 30.
30 is good. What was
22 is not so good.
22 is not so good. Okay, you guys are level 15, yeah?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You do have a hero point.
You do have your point.
Nah, this is funnier.
Okay. Kylo, as Balsam sees the gold, you see the cloth, and it suddenly clicks. You remember her old nickname and her old moniker. You know why she was asked to join with the Free Captains and why Tessa Fairwind had her on her crew. What you see is a collection of flags that have been woven into a curtain that line the back of the vault. Each curtain is a flag of a Hell Knight ship. One in which she was personally in charge of the assault crew. She is none other than Helena, the Hell Knight Slayer. Her crew specializes in tracking down and hunting Hell Knight vessels, sinking them, murdering them, and ensuring that the passageways remain safe for Tessa Fairwind. The Hell Knights, for those of you who are unaware of who they are the Chelish Navy. They're supposed to be some of the toughest, meanest, and it's basically someone going out. It's like, imagine someone who would hunt down SWAT members or specifically hunt down the Marines. This person is someone who, specializes in that. Now, she's, again, this is one of the reasons why she's feeling very casual at this point in time, because she knows what you do. You're an assassin. She appreciates what you do as an assassin because it involves killing and stuff. Whereas your version of killing and the like involves hiding for a while and sniping things from long range, she was not like that. And this is one of the things you both never saw eye to eye on. She was a battering ram. She would happily run straight towards something and overpower it with an overwhelming amount of strength until it yielded, which you thought was always very dangerous. You never knew if she was going to come back home alive any particular time she went out. She was even worse, always trying to fight and kill and destroy people who were supposedly multiple times stronger than she was. It was one of the breaking points. But yes, you now see there's about 20 flags that are draped over the back as Balsam, the treasure, lays before you.
For a
Balsam,
chest,
this
you
is
can
a
have
bad
this
idea.
one back.
Sorry, one more time. Balsam.
Yeah. Go, Matt.
For a single chest, you can have him back. He's no longer useful to me.
For a single chest, I can have him back. Okay, Kylie, what did you say?
I said, Balsam, this is a bad idea.
You got any other ones?
Not really, unless we can get her to take us to the island. She does have a ship.
At this point, she begins to climb the stairs.
Reverse grapple. Reverse grapple. Reverse grapple.
She's...
No, she'll kill you. She will kill you.
She begins to climb the stairs. She's doing it very deliberately.
So,
Yep, Kylie.
I'm going to break the grapple. I'm not going to try and grab him because she will just kill him.
Okay, so what do you do?
I'm going to break the grapple and go, no, we're not doing this. You can't, I don't care what you've got over me. I'm not doing this. There's got to be a better way.
Okay, I'm listening.
Elena, we've got a problem. I've got a problem. I have been red carded. Black carded? By the Red Mantis.
yeah, I'd say red listed.
I've been red listed. It's not correct, but you know what that means.
Make a diplomacy check.
I have to get off the combat tab. I was expecting much worse.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this, right? This is also how good storytelling trumps having good stats. Just so that you guys are aware. That was perfect, by the way, guys. You guys both did phenomenal in that scene. And this is going super well. And I'd also like to thank OG for the wandering NPC, which is this lovely Helena, who I think is just a cool
Thanks,
character.
OG.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I only got a 30.
Okay. With a 30.
Yep. That's not enough, is it?
It isn't, but I'm willing to hear you out. You can see that she doesn't like you, but at the same time, she doesn't want you dead.
Yeah.
So there is this momentary flicker of concern, which is then replaced by that same stern look as she asks, I don't see how that's my problem, Kailu. You made your choice. And whatever you and your friend think that you're trying here, you hurt my butler. Well, sorry, you hurt Isaac's.
I did try to stop that, but not very well. Not very hard. That's true. The issue is we need to sneak onto Metagori Island. Is that the name of it?
How much do you trust this woman, Kyler?
Well, we can't live together, but I still love her.
Belson puts away the knife. Then you better tell her the whole story.
Okay. I tell her the whole story.
Make roll a percentage. Okay. She doesn't hear a single word you say. Because the only thing that's stuck in her mind was the moment that you said that you can't live together, but you still love her. This, for her, is her tipping point. Her mind begins to reel and race with thoughts of, again, what could have been, if not for the differences that you shed between you. Again, she very much still cared about you quite a lot. The anger that she has for you is a product of how much pain she was in when the two of you couldn't find the common ground to make it work between the two of you. She threw herself into her work, and she always blamed herself in part because Tessa had made a lot of demands and gave her a chance to pull herself and those who work under her to a greater station, to work as part of the under the banner of the actual Hurricane Queen is a huge honor. You saw this change firsthand the moment she dyed her hair red in order to match the red hair of Tessa. Before you even spoke mention of working together, traveling around and her being a part of what you do, but she could never see the profit in it. She could never devote herself to a god the way you did and use that just to kill. If she kills, it's because she wants a worthy challenge and she wants to face it head on. She doesn't want to, attack people at their weakest and most vulnerable moments, which is the calling card of most of the assassins you work with. This was the center point of so many arguments, so many nights where you would come home And she would just be tired, or when she would miss a deadline and incidentally also miss the opportunity to spend the downtime you had in order to, like, because, well, now your job is calling you to go somewhere else just as she returns. And she's angry at you because it's like, well, why are you accepting jobs instead of waiting for me? And you're basically saying, well, you were supposed to be here weeks ago, and you just decided to continue pillaging until your greed was satisfied. And it never will be, because your ambition, your greed, your avarice is just going to continue to pursue, to force you down this road. These arguments led down that way. But since you left, she had always returned to that same empty house. She missed the sounds of those arguments, even a little. And while you're right, you could never really be together, she still cared for you deeply. She says, your friend's a fuckwit.
Yes.
You don't need money. What you need are connections. Put your crew together. I'll set up an introduction with the free captains. You pitch something I'm sure they'd be wanting from the Metagoti Isles. I'm sure they'll be able to help you. The Red Mantis are a monolith. And so there are people who would be willing to sell quite a pretty penny for people that are willing to break that monolith, rather than you trying to rob a pirate, maybe help some pirates do some robbing of their own.
Thank you.
Just, Isaacs, prepare a couple of guest rooms. And I'll see what I can do. And don't think for a second this means anything. The sooner you're gone, stay gone.
I'll try. You're a hard person to stay away from, though.
Don't push it. And she'll leave. Actually, no, she'll go upstairs. She's got other shit to do. She's not just, she's not going to go do your thing straight away. She's going to do her own thing. She's a proud and strong, independent woman. She's going to go be her own big, bad boss chick. Done. Okay. There you go. By the way, she cares so little that she hasn't even asked you to close the vault. You could literally grab some gold and run out the door if you wanted to right now, and no one would be there to stop you.
Balsam will kick the vault closed.
Boom.
Is Isaac still here?
Yeah.
You okay?
Wounded pride, but otherwise I'm fine.
I understand
sorry
you don't
about
want me
that.
staying here. Really sorry about that, Isaac.
The mistress has made arrangements for you to stay, and arrangements shall be made. Dinner is at 7, sharp. Don't be late. Oh, and during your stay here, I will encourage you to remind yourselves that the people preparing your food and water are all members of staff. And he goes back and prepares your rooms.
You know, now that he given him a chance to talk, I think I kind of like him.
At least
He's a bit of a sweetheart.
At least you know Nesmith would like him a lot.
Yeah, exactly. He reminds me a bit of Nesmith.
And he'll go prepare your rooms and stuff. Again, these aren't like big mansion rooms. It's like an Airbnb kind of vibe. You know, you've got a bed. It overlooks the beach. It's quite beautiful. Small planter, little dresser, and stuff like that. But it is a place to at least find some relief for the time being. During this period of time, you need to find something to do. I mentioned the mermaid's bucket before. Places like this are great for first-time visitors and people who are like kind of arriving in the town fresh. If you're looking for rumors or information about what is happening with you guys, whether or not you will be recognized or if people are searching for you, it'd be a good port of call to gain that sort of information. You do, however, also know that there will most likely be a few Red Mantis, or those people who work with the Red Mantis, that will be in a place like that. But it gives you a good thing to do while you wait for the others to finish their duties and send word.
You know the problem with a mask, Kyler?
What's that?
Is that it's very recognizable. More recognizable somewhat than those without a mask.
This is true. Can you go without the mask?
Do you want to be able to eat a meal?
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen you without your mask.
There's a reason for that. If we go to this mermaid's tail, we're going to have to keep a very low profile.
Well, I can do that.
I'm glad you can. One of us has to.
Yep. I've got no way of nothing I can do to disguise your mask. Do you?
That's fine. Oh. How about on the way to the tail, we go to some merchants and we can pick up some of the more fabric-based masks that are probably more likely found in this area.
That sounds like a good idea.
Wonderful. Let's do that then.
Okay. It is not going to be difficult for you to find things to conceal your identity. Again, the nature of the nature of this place makes it very easy for you to find stuff like that. The kind of like face masks that you find are kind of like your bandanas and stuff like that, which is easy to distinguish from your custom-made mask. And of course, you, as previously mentioned, are in full disguises. After your shopping trip, you make your way to the mermaid's bucket, which is about there on the map. Okay. The sound of the tavern is lively and bustling. There are a great many people here who are just kind of decompressing after long voyages, drinking, eating, celebrating, and cheering. It is quite a raucous location, to be said. As you arrive, what would you like to do?
Dawson's gonna go make some new friends. He's gonna go make some new drinking buddies.
Nice.
Awesome. Low key.
Immediately goes and speaks with everyone and gets as much attention as possible.
Kylu heads for the edge table in the corner.
All right. Kylo, you go towards the outskirts where you can see about 6 or 7 other people brooding in various corners as they trying not to be noticed. Yeah. How about you? Me too. Yeah. No one will see us while we're in the dark.
Wow, this inn has so many corners.
It does. They have like specific nooks for the edgelords, like, you know.
It's an octagonal building.
Now, as Balsam goes to sit by one of the tables, he's approached by what appears to be a very, very crazily attractive elven man.
Well, hello there. Can I help you with something?
He says, "Darling, There's a great many things a person like you could help me with. But I sense that there is something perhaps I can help you with. You have the look about you of someone with a great many concerns on your plate. But there is no concern, too great or too small, that I find a good stiff drink can't solve. He gestures over at the bartender, who produces 2 shots of a silvery liquid. To troubles and the transient nature that they possess. He smiles and offers you the other drink.
To troubles and the ways we can go, ways we get stronger around them.
All right. Do you drink?
Yeah.
All right. As you do so, he puts his... No, he doesn't put it down. He just kind of like very surreptitiously palms it to the side.
And it looks ridiculous as Belsum like lifts the bandana and just kind of tries to keep the bandana as much forward as possible.
He says, I must say, I do take quite a bit of pride in knowing many of the people who come and go from this place, but I've never met you before, Mr.
Traveler.
Ah, yeah.
Ask your name.
He whispers something in your ear. It makes you blush. We will keep it we keep it MA rated for the time being.
Trying to get the adequate response a little bit. Oh, rather interesting, huh?
Well, I'm always attracted to the interesting, the unique. At this point, he'll drink his shot, but slowly.
I kind of feel like that one time where I shot at a glass of port, not realizing you're supposed to sip it.
That's a sipping whiskey. Okay. Now he says, now maybe it's just me, but... And he reaches for another drink, like he basically gestures. Perhaps it is just me, but you carry yourself in a particular way. Hunched shoulders, the mask, or should I say the features of someone trying to conceal something in a place filled with pirates, where people would sooner chop off their own limbs than expose people to those that would, well, come for them. Hiding from the underbelly seems like an odd place to be for someone who is trying to stay out of the line of sight of the people in this dark and foreboding place. Your troubles must be quite deep if you have risked coming all the way here.
And that is exactly why I'm here. Trying to face those troubles, not necessarily run them away. However, it is important that people don't know who... my face doesn't get around. It's important that my face doesn't get around when I'm so close to a target.
Brave words for an assassin.
Belsum blinks in response.
Oh, please, don't look so surprised. You literally just said I conceal my identity and I have targets.
I could have been a thief.
And are you?
No. No, I'm not.
He leans over and he actually just like has this like he actually gives you a genuine laugh. Like, you think a lot of this is very performative, you know, he's definitely running a game of some kind, right? But in that moment, as you say, no, I'm not, he actually has a genuine laugh.
So that begs the question: why make your way over and talk to someone that whose profession you know well before coming up to me? Why'd you
Oh,
come up to me?
oh, I did not know your profession before I approached you. I just saw someone who was in desperate need of some cheering up. And Shaylin is not the only god who has reign over the delights that can bring joy and happiness to others. After all, we all find artistic influences and inspiration from elsewhere, and I tend to find it here in the lowest places. You see, and he whips from behind his hair like a flower, and he places it in the empty glass that you have in front of you that you drank from. And he said, "Some people appreciate the rose, but I prefer to bask and enjoy the dirt from the which a rose can bloom. The wrong soil, and it'll die, but find the right patch of dirt, despite its gravelly, gritty, muddy, loamy exterior. It still can produce things of great beauty."
Is this a thorny rose by any chance?
Yes.
Balsam will pick up the flower, prick himself with the flower, and a single drop of blood will fall and cascade onto the tabletop, um, creating this almost exquisite drop of red that's being that's flashing due to the fire that's in this room.
Ooh, nice. I love that. Make a will
Yeah.
save though.
Sorry. Oh
Make
yeah,
a
of
will
course.
save though. We can
Will
we
save.
we'll keep the scene going. I just need to not forget about it.
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
25. So
That's okay.
yeah.
Carry on.
See that? That is the beauty that I chased after. I used to do things for the mere enjoyment of it. But nowadays I feel myself chasing after it not for its artistic expression, but just for survival.
Survival is all well and good. And you watch as he uses two fingers and sort of wipes the blood from the table. And he then says, "But what is survival if we don't live a little?" And he will lick the blood from his fingers.
Balsam blushes again.
Okay. Okay, I need a moment just to be like, okay, guys, just so we know, okay, like, this is still an MA rated thing, okay?
It is.
And I wish I was this fucking smooth in real life and it wasn't just fucking make believe.
I know,
God
right?
damn
I know,
it.
right?
Anyway. Whew, mercy. Okay, anyway. Now, the thorn has the effect of a charm spell.
Yeah.
It effectively makes you slightly more suggestive subjective to suggestion.
Yeah.
So, it's not that you have to do anything he says, but you find what he says,
Alluring?
yeah, you find it like it's a good idea, generally speaking. Now, if he says, "Come with me to a dark alley," and you're like, "Oh, I can't leave Kylo behind," that's perfectly fine, right? Like, it's still a good idea, but you still have responsibilities. I want to make sure that you understand it's not domination, it's not forcing you in any kind of way. It's a suggestive
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Cool. So he'll say, "Well, I do know a place where people like yourself can do a lot more than survive. There are many, many people out there who feel that life itself just connects moment to moment, as though we are able to simply try to be the best we can in every moment. And there are others like myself who grab onto those moments, who wring them out of life for every succulent drop. I could show you.
He looks over towards Kyler, who's still probably sitting in his corner.
He is. By this stage, like 3 or 4 more
He's got
other
a- he's-
people on the outskirts have like sat down nearby.
Yeah. Nursing a drink.
It is a glorious drink. What drink are you drinking?
Fine ale.
Ah, all right. You drink a fine ale. Okay.
By the way, I
That does-
apologize. I think I wasn't muting when I was coughing. I thought I was.
That's all right.
No, it's fine. You're good.
Yeah. Balsam smiles, shakes his head. I'd love to. You don't know how much I would love to. Unfortunately, my responsibilities hold me back somewhat today. However, in saying that, it does sound like a nice reprieve.
He smiles at you warmly, and he offers his hand to take you somewhere.
Maybe for a little bit. For a small period of time.
Now that is someone who wants to wring something out of life. I love the little ba-ding that just happened.
Yeah, I know, right?
Brilliant. Perfectly timed. That was literally Balsam's, like that's the sound effect for Balsam having an erection, like immediately.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Bouncing off of the mask.
So as you are led away, Kylo, you do notice this. Do you wish to stay in the tavern to overhear stuff, or are you going to follow?
I'm going to raise my eyebrows and I'm assuming Balsam's not looking in my direction. And I'm going to,
well, not anymore.
yeah, I'm going to say he's a big boy and stick around and see what I can hear.
Okay. Make me a perception check as you listen out for rumors and the like. Actually, no, sorry. We'll save that. Just remind me of it next week because we'll come back to that. Balsam,
Okay.
you were taken a short distance away into a dark alley, but not very far, as there is a place with a sort of a green lantern hanging out the front of it. It is called the Silk... What's it called? The Silkworm's Palace. Taking you down a flight of stairs, you enter a room that is filled to the brim with smoke. It is, you are surrounded by these beautiful pillows, satin sheets, these scintillating patterns of light, and several hookahs that are basically plugged around in various places. As you are brought down, your handsome accompaniment invites you to sit down with him.
Sounds like a great idea. It's been a long couple of weeks. A chance to relax and unwind is exactly what Balsam's after. This is probably what Balsam is like when he's in between jobs, by the way.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. You watch as he takes a very, very big drawer of the hookah. He turns to you, and he lifts up your mask, just enough to expose your mouth, and it looks like he's about to kiss you while breathing the smoke back into your mouth. But whether or not you accept this, we'll have to wait until next week to find out. As we return to this spicy Mother's Day adventure. I mean, because it is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's
Oh
Day
yeah, I
to.
forgot about that for a bit.
So happy Mother's Day. I hope you guys enjoyed all of these spicy romance novel esque adventures that I did today. For those of you who haven't celebrated yet, please, all the moms out there, and Tony the Tigger, if you were out there as well, big celebrations to all the mums and stuff. But yes, today was great. Today was really good. I had a great time, and I hope that everyone was comfortable with everything. We had exes, we had spicy lover, individuals and stuff. And to also be clear, even though this character we didn't really talk about, Matt and I had above table spoken a little bit about what direction Matt wants to take his character. This may not have necessarily been the exact angle, but we are heading in that direction, which is the important bit. So I hope that you guys, do you guys enjoy your dalliances, your tete-a-tetes?
Yeah, absolutely. I found it's great to have like these smaller sessions to delve into individual characters. Like it's great to see Kyler and how he reacts to the attacks, and it's great to see Balsam in a different light as well. It's wonderful. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely a lovely, entertaining time. I learned so much.
It's true. It's true. That's how our backstories get filled out. We just sort of just start filling them out. I honestly thought we were gonna keep the secret text a secret a little longer than we ended up doing.
Yep. I know, but it was just like it just kind of tied right. It was like,
It was such a good reveal though. You could have been a perfect moment of when she walks in being like, "Oh, it's my ex," and then Balsam going, "Wait, what? It's your ex? Oh my god!" But
why didn't you tell me this before?
Yeah. Sometimes that's always sometimes that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was also good that you guys had that. Kind of your plan, that kind of again, because not a word was exchanged between the two of you before you decided to take hostages. So I was just like, is this happening? Is this real? Has Balsam just snapped for some reason? Okay, I guess. Let's go with this. And
well, we were,
yeah, and
we were just on the same page.
Yeah, that was it. You guys were on the same page, and I was like, okay, well, here we go. Honestly, the fight with the wandering NPC would have also been perfectly acceptable. Again, OG Lava Kitten, thank you for that particular character. We throwing out stuff like that is always a blast, always a hoot. And I had a great time with everything that happened. Now is the tricky bit of trying to reunite everyone when we come back next week. Because Balsam's out, getting high, and Kylo is rumor hunting. So I guess we'll see what happens. We'll give everyone a little bit of a side questy time, and then pull everyone together. But the advantage is you guys now have an audience with the free captains in order to basically explain what you're doing. And to be clear, just so that we are clear on it, what's been suggested is that when you guys get sent to back to the Metagoldi Isles, that you're going to give them an opening to be able to rob from the Red Mantis in some way, shape, or form. Now, all of you may be on board with that. Some of you may not be, because ultimately, if you guys are still somewhat loyal to the Red Mantis, you may not want to invite pirates over there. But if you guys are, quote unquote, moving on and just trying to clear your name, then yeah, sure. It's a complicated issue. I mean, ultimately, you could also invite a pirate captain over and then betray them, murder them.
That's actually going to be really good, because Kylo's going to have that split loyalty now.
So many split loyalties.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Who's he going to choose? The free captain or the Red Mantis assassins?
Well, I don't think she's going to let me on her ship.
Imagine if she gets ordered to, she'll have to.
Well, this is true.
And honestly, just because it is a reward, it probably will be her ship, just because I want to get the most out of her. But then it also gives everyone else a chance to interact with Kylo's ex, which will be funny. So
torture to Kylo.
That's it. Tell us all about Kylo. What was he like when you were dating him? It's like, oh, he was such a wuss. Every time we went out to dinner, he would actually pay for the meal before we ordered anything. Lots of little,
Don't think I
yeah.
do that.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Okay, so wholesome. Okay, I'm not like this guy. This guy is not wholesome. This guy talked about his penis. That's what he did. Anyway, all right, guys, we're off. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining. My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. You can find it here a number of times during the week. We will be back later on for Gatewalkers. We may be a few people down for Gatewalkers as well, but you know what? God damn it, I want to play Gatewalkers. So that is what we're going to be doing. So be sure to tune in and prepare for a great time. And guys, until we meet again, stay safe, stay wonderful, be kind to each other because why the fuck not? It's free. And until we meet again, game hard or die trying. Bye, folks.